Hi, I'm Alexi Old, and welcome to another edition of If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve the PR kerfuffles from the MMA world and beyond. I'm your host, and joining us as usual is Kid Nate of Bloody Elbow. And
What is
what's
this,
that
this,
funny thing?
this light jazz thing, man? The Quiet
A
Storm.
quiet storm.
Didn't I tell
So
you?
I'm a little too nasal to have a radio voice. So,
Yeah, okay.
uh, and also Eugene S. Robinson of Ozzy.com, and author of Fight Everything You Ever Want to Know About Asking, but we're afraid you get your ass kicked for asking.
Well, thank you for that nice intro, Alexi. I appreciate it.
Dr. Ben Carson.
It's funny, the whole Quiet Storm format was invented or created in Washington, D.C. I believe Kathy Hughes did it when she was at Howard University Radio. And they didn't get the proper, rumor has they didn't get the proper protections of the format, assuming that kind of format could be protected. And it just went fucking crazy. And like to watch like it explode, like at that time, just totally exploding, and to be able to like not get anything from it. But anyway, such is the
You just described this analog for my life. You know,
That's
I
why we
invented MMA. You know this, right?
What? Huh?
Yeah. I invented MMA.
Yeah.
1980, 83, 84, buddy. I invented it.
Yeah, I'm
Man.
going to call my autobiography, Where's My Finder's Fee, Cocksucker? That's going to be...
Hey, there's nothing wrong with sucking cock. We got to
Hey,
move
no,
that word
there's
out of
not.
here.
Again, I don't mean it as a pejorative, but where's my finder's fee?
There you go.
Let's
I got
see,
it. I got it.
Speaking of where things are and compensation and getting robbed,
Yeah.
Eugene, you're Kenny Florian.
You remember those old 1950s ads? Why is this man smiling? You just answered that question for me.
You, Kenny, were suspended by Fox Sports last weekend for a, quote, critical oversight, end quote, in a story posted on Fox Sports that many have called plagiarism. After winning titles, most fighters name-check God. On Sunday, after recapturing his UFC Bantamweight Championship, Dominic Cruz name-checked you. Quote, Kenny Florian, stop copying and pasting, man, end quote. Yep. How do you think make things right for your personal brand, Kenny?
You know what, man? There's not been a single person who has fucking bounced back from plagiarism. I don't care whether it's the guy, the charity guy with the cup of tea guy. I don't care whether it was a black cat from the New York Times, Jason, whatever his name is.
He was doing more than plagiarizing. He was fantabulating.
So, yeah, and then there's a guy, David Levin, the Silent Language of Cranes. You know, oh, he's a wonderkin, second or third book. He's a plagiarist. He goes, oh, man, I was having problems with alcohol. Didn't work. Goodbye, David Levitt. Goodbye. You know, there have not been many. Look, the only one who's made it back is this cat, Brian, what's his name, Brian Williams. And he's made it back conditionally because finally they said, you know, home or on air, we got to pay this guy. And frankly, TV viewers are not that discerning. You know, I mean, I myself have been complaining about Kenny Florian taking my job, so to speak. But I had to admit he did a good job at what he was doing. But you know what? These guys are not fucking writers, man. The guys who are on TV are not writers. It's a rare case in which the guy who's saying the words wrote the words. But they confuse it. They confuse it, where it's like, because I'm saying the words, I guess I could just as easily write the words. And that's when mistakes are made, you know, which is a good defense. We call that the Reagan defense. Mistakes were made.
So how does he correct it, Eugene? How does he
does it,
become
man.
the one person in wake of all the people who have not recovered, other than Brian Williams? How does he
can't
bring it back? He can't?
If he wants to smartly and cleverly reset, I say he pulls a BJ Penn, crawls out of retirement, fights for a year, and then works his way back in so people forget. He builds up a bona fide. He's like, fuck, clearly I can't do the TV thing. I'll serve my time in hell a year, and then I'll be back at the desk in another year when people have forgotten. That's a maybe solution,
right.
You know? I mean, people don't like fucking bullshit and thieves. If there was any reason to dislike the guy, now we've got one. You know, and the cheese-eating excuses don't fucking fly. I accidentally, we didn't give, hey, Joe Biden has not been forgiven from something he did in college. So, I mean, it's like Danzig talking about, the guy, he was a fortune hunter. I knew he was going to sue me, so I took the shit. You're just making it worse, you know. Just disappear. Disappear, come back, maybe people will forget, you know.
What about you, Nate? What do you
I have 2 words for my idealistic young colleague over there. Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant have been through this crap. It's getting to the point where at one point I was like, well, at least I think they wrote Stairway to Heaven. No, they didn't write Stairway to Heaven either. I mean, they wrote parts of Stairway to Heaven, but not the whole thing. But they've bulldogged through. They pay the settlements every time somebody sues them and just keep on trucking. I think Ken Florian will get over it. From reading the Bloody Elbow comments, it seems like a large chunk of our readers don't even have a firm handle on what plagiarism is.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I'm just telling you what I'm reading, man. These people don't even know what they're talking about when they're accused of plagiarism. And so, you know, I think he can write it out. I think he'll have to do his time on the bench. The problem is there's a lot of other guys who fought in the cage, who can talk on a mic, who would like to have his job.
Yep.
And so, you know, Dominic Cruz isn't going to be fighting forever. He's champion right now. I'm probably too busy to take that gig, but he would be good at it.
So do you think that was a little not necessarily subliminal, but it's funny you say that, Nate. Do you think that was kind of
that was from one broadcast
preserving his career or establishing his place in the broadcasting?
I think that was more like a jibe between colleagues, really, than I mean, it was a harsh jibe. If you'd done that to me, I would have been pissed. But if I'd been plagiarized, then I would have deserved it. But I think it was coming from a guy who sees himself as a media professional. And Dominic Cruz, he's in the booth on Fox, and he knows the score. You can't be cutting and pasting and putting your name on it. Like, if you cut and paste, link and credit. It's not that hard. Like, I mean,
and that was with Carlos Joe Rogan's problem with Carlos Mencia. You're making fucking bank while guys that you're stealing the jokes from are.
Did we lose Eugene?
See, you had to talk about Carlos Mencia. You had to, and then your feed cuts
somebody's
out.
Dropping out.
Have you not learned? You look again.
Yeah, you back, Eugene?
Look,
one thing to add about Carlos Mencia while Eugene's struggling to find his connection.
And until Carlos,
I'm here.
You're here. I have a little more sympathy for Mencia, maybe not Mencia, but at least the late Robin Williams, because you hear jokes and you remember jokes. It's easy to spew jokes out, especially when you're doing that kind of stream of consciousness bit. So I have a little bit of sympathy for that. But when you're writing and you're at your desk and you're clearly cutting and pasting big swaths of text, it's not like you just incorporated a phrase here or, a description.
Is he writing it, or do you think he's actually writing these things, though? No offense to Kenny, but is that a possibility that he kind of like outsourced it? It's a possibility that
I don't know, man. If I outsource shit like that and the kid I hired to do it plagiarized on my watch, I would definitely be ratting the fuck around.
No, it's true.
Yeah, he's on Front Street, man. That kid is, he's out. I'm saying, John Smith did it. I'm not wasting a minute.
Yeah.
But don't you think there's also something that can be done in terms of looking at, I think something that Eugene had said weeks ago about, paying the piper, right, and glad handing. Do you think that if he engaged in a campaign of
charm offensive?
Well, not just, money and charm offensive. And it says, like, look, I have a platform the guys I allegedly ripped off, don't have. You know what? I fucked up. I'm going to bring you guys, you know what I mean? Like,
He's already doing that. I mean, he was on Annex podcast yesterday with a fairly kind of thin gruel bullshit excuse, I thought. But the guy
this is just like more full-fledged or full.
But the guy that he ripped off is going to be on Annex podcasts today, supposedly. So he's elevating these guys, and they're getting into the conversation that people are hearing about him, and certainly hearing about their work.
You end up being like that fucking artist, Richard Price, who goes on Instagram, takes people's pictures, and puts them on a canvas and goes, there you go, and he's getting fucking $60,000.
Roy Lichtenstein did that to Steve Ditko 50 years ago. Nobody cared. I mean, it's.
So there actually is a precedent for this working.
There was no internet, and Richard Price is getting his ass sued, and he was like, I welcome you to make all kinds of money off of me. Thanks. So, kind of what we're thinking about doing is taking Richard Price photos of other people's Instagram, photographing it in the gallery, and then using that photograph of his photograph as our art piece.
As a meta commentary on art and, and creativity and plagiarism and the whole bit. I don't know. I think Florian's biggest problem is there's plenty of other dogs barking to have that slot. We haven't seen Frank Mir back in the booth in ages since he threatened to kill Brock Lesnar.
Frank Mir, come on. Eugene S. Robinson. In the booth, baby.
You've yet to have your chance and then lose it. That's the connection I was making there. So, yeah, good luck, Kenny, but... on the one hand, I do want to say one thing in Kenny's defense. At least he's reading and thinking and learning cool stuff. Like, he's not just one of these dumbasses that's not learning and up in his game. He's reading some of the best analysts out there, and the stuff he stole was very good taste, I have to say.
Speaking of taste, Nate.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to do the Charlie tuna thing. We don't need tunas that taste good. We need tunas with good taste. But, Sorry.
Nobody. When was this out on? In the 70s? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Nobody in our demos knows that.
Hey, you know what? Eugene is giving nuggets of pop culture gold.
I'm driving guys into sixth round crazy.
Their grandparents and great-grandparents and get an inheritance set up.
That's a cultural
Watch. Millions have been made based on that. You utilize these little nuggets from the 70s and 60s, and your grandparents and great-grandparents, oh, I remember. Oh, my gosh, you understand me. And then they croak, and you get this nice little, nest egg. Anyway, speaking of nest eggs.
Yes.
Nate, your UFC CEO, Lorenzo Fertitta. According to the Boston Herald, you defended withholding 5-figure payments from fighters who violated your uniform rules as, quote, detention for being out of uniform, end quote, and added, quote, it's not that hard, tuck your shirt in, end quote. Do you make any PR adjustments in the wake of Paul Gift's report on Bloody Elbow that you and your brother are set to receive over $225 million by taking your casino company public? Continued fighter resentment over lost sponsorship revenue under the Reebok deal, and multiple fighters who still lack a Reebok fight kit? Or do you just let them eat cake?
Eat cake, chumps. I mean, I don't think Lorenzo has any need to apologize. Like, he owns the game, he makes the rules. That IPO thing is remarkable, though, and the audience he needs to be concerned about is who's he going to get to invest in his company when they've already revealed, and it wasn't just Bloody Elbow, this was in Forbes and other business press things. The structure of this IPO is really unusual. It's very similar to what Google did in that it keeps the current management and owners in complete control of the company. Like, the people that are buying shares are not going to have any kind of voting role in the company, a very diminished role as far as what's normal for shareholders. And they've already said, we're going to take the money from this IPO and give it to ourselves because we're going to sell our entertainment company to our casino company. So essentially they've defined the casino company as basically the buildings, I guess, and the gambling. And everything else, all the floor shows and the gambling and the dealers, I think is what's under the rubric of this entertainment company. So in order to function, this company's going to have to then buy their other company from them and give them the money. So the investors are like, getting what exactly? Because it's not like this is going to be put to work. This money is going to be put to work buying Lorenzo fine suits and Frank, private jets and stuff. So
it's reminding me very much of Glengarry Glen Ross and Al Pacino and Jonathan Pryce sitting there in the cafe. Some people believe if you die, you go to heaven. Good. I don't act accordingly. I mean, that was my Al Pacino. Thank you. I mean,
masterful.
I had a friend who was like this, and the idea generally is that we're great friends until we're doing business, and then we're doing business. It's like we can be friends, and then we get on the jiu-jitsu mat, and I'm going to try to beat you. It has nothing to do with morals or ethics. You go in for this deal, you lose. But I am not going to stand in your way of willingly, gleefully losing. Do it up.
I've heard that just business line from many a Texas horse trader myself. And
as they're walking away with your cash. That's exactly the kind of stuff they're telling you.
Not a personal friend, just business. Just business.
But that wasn't your issue. Your issue is kind of, it seemed in general, whether that was a politic thing to say, revealing the naked face of their power arrangements, whether he needed to recover from it, could recover, should recover, or whether it was a non-issue. And I'm tending to think it's it's a non-issue. You know, I mean,
I don't know. I think we're going into the teeth of the worst opening year in stock market history so far. The first 10 days or so of trading were the worst 10 days.
Yeah, it's because of China and the oil price destabilization.
Yeah, but still, you got people that are losing money, and maybe some people are looking to put their hot money somewhere else. But the QE has ended. There's not as much hot money going around. People are taking a killing on stocks. They're going into a bad market. And I think they should be doing some stuff about how is Red Rock going to grow, because that's the new name. It's not Station Casinos anymore. It's Red Rock something. What are we doing to grow this company? What are our opportunities? They need to be talking up how are you going to make money buying our stock, not how are you going to be giving me money.
But you know what? People, we always talk about follow the money. You know, in a down market, you know what the smart money's doing? Buying the market.
Well, sometimes buy the dip, and sometimes buy the dip will get you killed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, not if you're a billionaire. These guys.
And these guys are gamblers. It's gambling too. You know what I mean?
These guys are hardening their positions, buying fucking stock while all the sheep run out and panic. No. I'm watching the big money on this. So.
So eat cake also, right, Eugene? Is that what you're? Is that?
You know, I'm the head coach, baby. Yeah, maybe. You know, I mean, if I have to choose an approach between Lorenzo and Frank, I'm choosing Frank. You know, he's D&D all the way, dumb and deaf. That guy doesn't say shit. You never see his name in the press. Rarely see his name in the press outside of buying that $32 million mansion or $28 million mansion in Malibu. You know, he's the invisible man. You got a mouthpiece. It's the bald one. Don't need to be talking. So I see it as kind of a weird PR misstep for Lorenzo. But other than that, no, I think he just disappears back into the mist and finds Frank, and where are we going, Frank? Oh, kid, we're going to go someplace we can count our money in peace. Oh, thanks, bro. You know, that's it.
Well, speaking of peace, Eugene,
you're
Chavez Brown. After the eye poke scene around the world, you were booed by a vocal contingent of fans and have been lambasted as a dirty fighter. Is it time to bask in the luscious fire of hatred, ride the residual Ronda resentment, and go full heel?
Yeah, what you think he isn't? Is there anybody watching, anybody who gives the remotest fucking fuck about MMA who thinks that this is a guy in a white hat? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
I don't think he's fully embraced the dark side. I don't think he's fully
But he's Hawaiian, man. He's doing it Hawaiian style. If you don't think Chavez Brown's going to slap you up in the 7-Eleven parking lot, you're fucking crazy. I mean, does he seem like a guy that we do anything but? I mean, come on. Look at that picture that they got that broke open the Honda Housey Chavez Brown relationship, where the guy's taking a picture of his 7-year-old daughter. Look at Travis's face in that photo. He's lucky he didn't get Robert De Niro, you know? I mean, come on, man. That guy doesn't give a fuck. He absolutely doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's stumbled into the worst PR, one of the worst PR disasters of 2015, not giving a single fuck, you know? Not caring. Whatever. This is my life partner. This is my angel baby. I don't give a shit that I'm up on charges and I'm not allegedly for beating my I don't care. You know.
So it's a different style of heel. You're saying it's a different style of heel.
Hawaiian style of heel. Don't give a shit. You know. And I mean and frankly I mean what she said since then.
I think in the press conference
absolutely
he kind of was
nothing. It's like well, you know. What can I tell you? Don't have eyes.
He didn't show up at the press conference going, "What's this on my thumbnail? Oh, tastes like eyeball."
See, that's the thing. When I'm thinking full heel, I'm just thinking about like the T-shirts and just like
Well, like Jon Jones post poke bust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jon Jones with that tweeting and deleting, man. He's raising this to an art. I'm really full of admiration for
Well, I was disappointed with Jones because he tweeted about the Brown Mitrione fight. He said, Travis is using my favorite technique. And then he didn't delete the tweet. We were like so disappointed. We were like, come on.
But you can't. I mean, this is a lack of predictability. You don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to tweet and delete? He's going to tweet. I mean, you don't know. He's keeping you guessing, just like his fight style. You don't know.
It's true. You know he's going to do something dirty and mean.
I mean, the question is with Travis Brown, I mean, it was, who does the UFC hate more? That's kind of what I was thinking about going into it,
Mitrione all the way, man. The guy raising trouble about his contract and bitching about the
not wearing shoes also in the interview.
Ah.
You know what I mean? Like not Reebok or anything. He went barefoot.
Yep.
Oh, who did?
Mitrione.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't pick up on that. He was barefoot.
I didn't see that. I didn't think of that either. That's nice. I like these forms of protest. Like that friend of mine who went to his drug test at Intel high on LSD. That was a good one.
Because you're not going to get popped for LSD by drugs.
No, you won't. But you know, I mean, I'm not trusting a pilot who's high on LSD. You know, so.
No.
What do you think, Nate, in terms of Chavez Brown?
I think he's doing just fine. Just keep on plowing through, poke some eyes. I mean, you know, if you can get away with that kind of flagrant eye poking, do it, man. I mean, the commentators cover for you. They're like, oh, another accidental eye poke. Oh, an unfortunate accident. It's like the dude is sticking his hand out there with open fingers splayed out time and time again. And it was a turning point in the fight. Like, it's just like when GSP used to do what I called the championship nut shot. Like, it seemed like every round GSP would take a nut shot. I mean, just like, hey, it's there. I won't take it. You know,
it's there. Yeah, it was wide open.
Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Like, this is a championship fight. I'm going to be kicking you in the nuts every round. And I mean, you know, as long as the refs aren't calling you, he got flagged for it. He didn't get flagged for it. The guy didn't take a point. He didn't even get a warning for two of the most flagrant eye pokes I can remember seeing since Constant Philippou blinded Tom Boach. What's Boach's name? Whatever. Anyway, poor old blind Boach. Huh? What?
Tim the Barbarian Boach, right?
Yeah, Tim the Barbarian. That's right, Tim Boach. I mean, it's like, and Chuck Liddell rode his whole championship run as notorious eye poker. So I say,
I just want a T-shirt, man. I'm looking for the T-shirts. I'm looking for a little, like you said, just a little in your interviews, kind of like
yeah, a T-shirt with an eyeball on his thumb.
Sharpen the thumb. Get the nail file out there, and like, yeah, how are things going? They're going great.
Yeah. Well, on the American frontier, if you saw guys with big thumbnails, you stayed away from them because the fighting style back then was called rough and ready.
Rough and ready.
I got it. They would just scoop people's eyeballs right out of their heads and bite off their noses. So
What? I thought the Donna Shalala thing was supposed to stop you. You went ahead with the story anyway.
I told you. I just had to get it in there.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
We get the Donna Shalala.
Chuck Barris, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thank you guys. I needed a hat pulled over to cover the stone. Hey, it's a great show. I love Chuck Barris, man.
Me too.
So, this is a curveball. Eugene, you're SpongeBob SquarePants. You are awoken from your slumber by reporters standing outside of your pineapple and bikini bottom, awaiting your response to news that your frenemy Squidward was accused of drunk driving. What do you say?
What are we talking about, man? What happened to this show? What happened to this fucking show? Well, I just went to crazy town.
That's what the curveball is about, man. See, you don't have it for a week, and your guard is down.
But
in the past, I was asking about Chewbacca. I was asking like your piece of meat.
Yeah, no, I got it. You do realize that I stopped watching TV when my first kid was born, so 19 years ago. So I have only, and I wouldn't let them watch TV until they could read. So that means 19 years ago, I didn't let them even watch anything except for movies until they were 8, So I only have a passing familiarity with SpongeBob. But Squidward gets busted for drunk driving. What do you do? Is that the query?
Yeah, it's a frenemy. It's your frenemy. So unlike the Jon Jones thing where it's a situation where it's your brother or there's some kind of familial love, there's a situation where a frenemy, someone who at times your friend, other times out to get you.
I got it. Okay, and so what do you do if you're SpongeBob?
Yeah, you get the call. The reporters are at your pineapple, like SpongeBob. What do you have to say about Squidward?
This is why one of the reasons why I know you guys were hating on Dominic Cruz, but I love whatever his shtick is now. I'm signing on to it 100% because it's not enough that I won, but now that I'm standing in here, I'd like to step on a few necks. I'd like to step on Uriah Faber's neck because I don't like him, is what he said. I'd like to, for whatever reason, because he picked against me, I'd like to step on Ken Florian's neck. And while I'm at it, let me step on fucking TJ's neck at the press conference where, oh, I'm sorry I used unkind words. He might as well have added crybabies and bedwetters. I'm one of those kick him when he's down guys. Fuck you. Or like Bismarck, he said, damn, it feels good to see people up on it.
Yes, the vapors.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Yes.
Because nothing can save you. So look, what do you think, Nate?
I think you throw him an anvil, just like Keith Richards is an autobiography. Brian Jones has been dead for 45 years. Keith didn't miss a chance to slight him, to minimize him, to shit talk him. I mean, this is a guy that formed the band that made you famous, that taught you how to play blues guitar, on and on and on. Do everything you can to tear into the guy. If you're SpongeBob, just think of all the shit Squidward pulled on you and just turn the knife. This is your chance, baby. Turn the knife. You know, like that's how it goes.
Speaking of turning the knife, it brings us to our teachable moment. Nate, you're Ted Cruz. It's just such a well. You snatched defeat from the jaws of victory by attacking New York, despite your connections to New York-based investment banking firm Goldman Sachs, who employs your wife and gave you low-interest loans, which you failed to report on a Federal Election Commission form. Plus, you gave Donald Trump an opening to do the unthinkable, appear presidential, and summon the spirit of September 11th.
Yep.
And let's not even get into the birthers. What can you do to ensure that Canadian bacon remains a desired dish on the Republican plate?
You can win the Iowa caucuses, and that's pretty much all he can do, man. He's got to focus on his ground game. Trump has no ground game. The Iowa caucuses are tricky and for advanced practitioners only. The Trump organization, such as it is, doesn't have their shit together. Cruz has been building his organization on the ground for a long time in Iowa. Win the Iowa caucuses big, and then your best hope is that you have broken the illusion of invulnerability that Donald Trump has. How is Donald Trump going to handle an entire news cycle, a week of news cycles of not being the winner? Like, if Donald Trump's whole brand is I'm the winner, I'm the big dick, I'm the guy swinging around, how's he going to handle Cruz getting the crow for a week? If Cruz loses in Iowa, he is done. This is a time to.
You do realize the Iowa governor has come out and said, I don't want Ted Cruz to win.
Yeah, that was when I saw that, I was like, God, people hate this guy. Ooh, I have a juicy inside baseball Ted Cruz rumor I'm going to drop exclusively on the show here.
Do it.
So a colleague of mine, like I've heard all this stuff about his roommate hates him and the people in the Senate hates him and everything, but I've always heard what a smart, hardworking guy he was. So a colleague of mine is on the board of a major publication and deals with a lot of Texas insiders and oilmen types. And one of these dudes has been having dinner, been like at a big power dinner, 10, 15, 20 couples that gather together a few times a year for this big power dinner. And Ted Cruz's wife does all the talking. And Ted's reputation in these circles is, Ted plays Xbox. Ted sneaks up to the kids' room and plays Xbox at these parties as soon as he can get away. So my friend was saying that he was at the same dinner where this oil man tells the story, and a reporter was there. And this reporter goes up to Ted Cruz the first chance he gets after a debate and says, Ted, what's your favorite Xbox game? And Ted just goes, fuck you. And so anyway, that was a new angle on Ted Cruz I had not heard before. But yeah, this is the dude. I thought he was rolling. I thought he was going to win the Iowa caucuses and then position himself as the more responsible alternative to Trump, but the Goldman Sachs thing was bad. The New York values thing, like he could have got away with the New York values. His hit was actually good in isolation, but if you saw like Josh Marshall dissecting, like they had the two-face cam, they had Trump's face listening while Cruz was dissing him, and you could see 23 seconds in, Marshall goes, you could see Trump realize he had him, and man, once he opened up, and then you could see Cruz's face when he knew he was getting hit with the 9/11 bomb, and he just, he even had to applaud the people in New York in their response to 9/11. That was one of the most brutal, beautiful takedowns I've ever seen.
Hey, man, and when the New York Daily News has Lady Liberty on the cover giving you the fucking finger, God damn it, man, you're in trouble.
Did you see their headline today?
Huh?
Did you see their cover today for the Palin endorsement of Trump?
No.
I'm with stupid.
I didn't say that. A buddy of mine had the best line. He goes, "The fuck was Sarah Palin wearing? Wind chimes?" I was like, I don't want to clothing shame her, but it did look like wind chimes to me. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And also, she was in the news again today one of her kids, I think her son, domestic abuse charges.
Track Palin.
What? Yeah.
Track Palin, I believe.
Track Palin. Yep. Beat up his what? His girlfriend? His
allegedly, but arrested for domestic violence. So yeah, so the family values are in full effect. But
and then the chick who's named Bristol, she had another kid out of wedlock. So
that's a little old. But yeah, I mean, the
other kid is new, but
Did you see the footage when they got into the fight at the party in Alaska?
No.
They went to some party, and I can't remember what the cause of the kerfuffle was, but it was all on video. And Sarah's daughter's like dropping the C word on people and throwing punches at people. I mean, it was.
Wow.
It was pretty epic. And these are class.
I have a news blackout in my household for Palin, Kardashian, just not. Unless it's Kardashian, whorehouse, Lamar Odom, I'm not paying attention. I'm only paying attention to that one because I'm paying attention to whorehouses. So I heard
Caitlyn was auditioning guys for his honeymoon video or her honeymoon video. Sorry, I'm very sorry about that. Wrong, sir.
It's that time once again.
No, I'm losing track of the sound effects. Like the clock is what?
The clock is Lost Battalion.
Oh my God!
Phantom
this is a good topic. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's time, Eugene. Do we have any new additions?
I don't care so much about the new additions as I do the stunning. I mean, we're doing Reveille, right? Is Reveille what is that thing they call when you call everybody out in the morning? That's Reveille?
That's Reveille, yeah.
We're doing Reveille, right? So, Jesus, I'm stuttering, muttering over this Chris Weidman thing.
Oh,
man,
the pancakes.
It's like DMX, you're lying on your back in the church and it hurts. Come on, man. And it's like, all of that, it coalesces into this moment where all of that UFC distaste, dislike has just fallen around the shoulders of, sure, let him have his rematch. I mean, there was no struggle or no fight. Or who is Luke Rockhold going to fight next?
Yeah.
Maybe Jacare. No, let's truck about that. He's being Rich Franklinized. Man,
Wow.
Not ready, not too soon. Oh my God, man. Now he could pull a Rocky thing out of the bed, but I'm not seeing it, man. I just see him now standing by the wood pile in his backyard out in Long Island.
Burning pancakes and telling the kids that's how it's supposed to be.
Ma, why is Dad here now? The mother's over the sink doing something good. I don't know, kids. Fuck. Man, it's blotted out the fact that, there was one other entry this week who I'm trying to remember, but I off of this last fight, but I'm still thinking of the Weidman thing because it actually physically hurts me.
It does. It's a very, it's one of these things where there's just it hasn't got to the point where there's any kind of joy. I say it hasn't got to the point because a lot of these things get to a certain point which is just hilarious and it's just, oh my God, look at this. But it's just, and what's crazy about it is the whole void with that title and the tradition of Rich Franklin, right?
Yeah,
so you have this situation where initially it's like, oh, it's so deep, it's so deep, it's so deep, it's so deep. It's like, okay, what are our choices for Rockhold? Vitor?
Yeah, right.
Yoel Romero, we can't do that. They kind of didn't want to. Like, okay, I guess we'll put Weidman in.
But and you also, what's super telling to me?
What's
the
that?
loudest mouthed man in MMA, Matty Serra, completely
Well, he's busy
quiet.
with that reality show with Dana.
Yeah, well, I'm still, my man's out there saying, reimagine. I'm like, yeah, I'm hype guying it all away. Nothing. Ray Longo, nothing. Yeah, Chris, rematch, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard, lonely, cold, cruel world.
Well, you know what? What is that great line, that Dom DeLuise line from 12 Chairs, where he says, "Foolish man that I am, I should not weep, but should instead count my blessings." Count your blessings, man. You had a ride. Enjoy it.
Yep, that he did. He beat Anderson Silva not once, but twice.
Yep. There you go. So, what is this? Was it the text? What? I'm not finished. You're finished. Don't tell me I'm finished. I'll tell you when we're finished. So anyway, no, there was somebody actually had. There's a plagiarism thing. What was that guy who hit us with that tweet? find out if we're going to talk about the supplement thing.
Ah, the tainted supplements. But we already knew this. Like, supplements have been tainted forever. The FDA stopped caring.
No, but that's not the real issue. The issue is, will the guys who claimed, and I'm looking at Anderson Silva and Kung Lee. Well, the guys who claimed that they were clean. Well, guys use this to Trojan horse past bus. Like, yeah, you see, I told you, it's no good. See, were you taking that one? Maybe. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's our show. Ending on a depressing note. Thank you, Mr. Weidman.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, @Eugene S. Robinson, @KidNate, @Alexi Old. Please give us a thumbs up, Eugene. Show us an example of the
thumbs up for knuckle up for this show. If I did it.
And 6th round, man. This is a week. Oh, Eugene, a Eugene extra.
Man, I'm loving the hatred on the 6th round.
Yeah.
Those guys don't know. Like they expect me to kind of be like a Josh Koscheck. Oh, my feelings are hurt. It's like, oh yeah, oh, you hate me, huh? Oh, you wait. You know. I mean, and I haven't even busted loose with the why don't you blow me? I haven't even.
Well, you just did. And for those Eugene haters, you can leave us, and lovers of the show as well, leave us comments on YouTube, subscribe to MMANation.com, visit Bloody Elbow. We'll be back next week with another installment of If I Did It, and we don't know what we'll be talking about yet because the PR mistakes have yet to be made.
All right.